Sure, sump pump's going to take care of the problem, but let's try to figure out what's causing this problem. Now, I don't want to go all night, and I know you guys don't either, but some of the things that I would like to have validated is on the south end of town, the cornfield that's adjacent to the park, a few years back was required to tile that field. They were also required to put 2 retention ponds in, or retaining ponds. I don't know what the correct pronunciation of it is. And when they first put that in, it served as kind of a dam to keep any water from flowing this way. Well, in years gone by, it's been disc under. Those retention ponds they're no longer there. We have to allow his field drainage to come to our ditch. But now it's coming at a magnitude that it can't take. It can't take it. So through the years, it's just been ignored. He's not the only one, or they're not the only one. I've done a lot of research. Just east of town, there was a bunch of dozer work done. And in years gone by, all of the surface water used to flow south. They did a bunch of dozer work up there, and they disrupted the flow of that water and blocked it off. It's no longer going south, so that's coming in down that railroad track in that ditch. So guys, 50% of our problem is because of the people who we've allowed or asked to direct their water drainage in certain directions. Nobody watches it. Nobody monitors it. It's not working. And so what our ditches are, which should be adequate to handle normal surface water, they can't, because we've got more water coming in than we've got going out. So I don't know what the town can do to help this more than investigate it. We just need to investigate it and find out what we can do, what's available to us. One of the things I was going to ask if Doug could see if we could get the prisoners that we're using for everything, can they clean our ditch? I mean, good Lord. I mean, myself, I'm young enough, I can get down there with a weed eater and I can clean my ditch. My ditch looks like crap because I'm lazy. But there are a lot of senior citizens that live along that property line right there that can't get down in that ditch. Moreover, I was told that possibility of a lot of that debris may or may not have helped some of the more erosion of property. John Cyberry's got part of his yard. He's losing acreage every time water comes through that pipe because it's just eating it out and eating it out. If that happens on my end, I'm going to have a garage hanging. Anyway, I'm not asking the town for money. That's not my goal. It's not my intention. I'm just bringing a serious situation to your attention, and I'd be happy to help you as much as I can to try to bring some sort of relief to
You mentioned ditch tax. Do you know where that
Goss,
goes to?
Goss told me on my tax statement I should have something stating that I pay a ditch tax. Anybody that lives along a ditch pays a ditch tax. Well, what's the ditch tax for? Do they pick which areas they're going to take care of and which areas they don't? I don't know.
The county has a ditch board, and I was led to believe that it didn't include town. Town took care of their own. So do we get a fund for ditch?
We have to pay $207 in ditch tax. I'm sorry.
We don't receive. I thought if it's up to town, if it's in town limits and it's up to us, we should be receiving some funding off that.
A few years ago, county did some ditch work up there on that culvert cross right down below me on Main Street.
Yeah, that's a bridge.
First off,
And they done that culvert there at the park. It's kind of at a bad angle. Either way, down to our.
first off, Mr. Moore, it's fantastic. You've done your research. It's something that's got to be looked into. It's got to be done. Anybody that's a responsible town board has got to look into this. Yes, we are sitting on the Glacier Plain. You know, there's a lot of the reasons that it hadn't been done. I, for one, didn't know any of that stuff you were telling me about the dry wells or the dozer work. I'd never heard of it before. Didn't know. And I'm sure that the majority of people on here didn't either. And if they did, they'd forgotten about it. And so that's fantastic. looking into this FEMA thing, that's important too. We will do that. We will,
So are you gonna call FEMA, make sure the crazy guy from Tennessee's all right?
well, I will call, I mean, I know that, if he,
So are you going to call?
I'll call.
I've got some phone numbers.
Along with that,
Sure.
Doug, can you notify somebody at the county and see if there'd be any options or help or anything if we started placing that 5 foot down back through there?
Or take the thing out.
Well, we gotta put something back in.
Well,
Well, you don't have to.
you don't have to.
You don't have to.
You can leave it open to it.
You can leave it open ditch.
I'll take my
If it was
fence
me, I
down.
would talk to Doc
I'll
Royal
move
and
my
see if we can
fence.
straighten that ditch out and widen it.
Well,
And
That,
take
that,
lot
and that was a
curves.
good suggestion that John had made. Instead of it winding all the way back by backsleys and stuff like that, if you take a shot from the corner of his property straight to that culvert that goes under the gravel, that's gonna help a lot.
yeah, I agree.
See, I wouldn't have any erosion on my
I
property
agree.
if they'd left it alone.
It's like a windy river down through there now.
Well,
Yeah.
the
But they
angle
came in
dog-
twice and I tried to stop them and they said, well, we have a maintenance alley here on this ditch, 12 feet wide. And so they came in and twice they dug it out and I said, don't do that, you're screwing it up.
Who did who come in?
The town.
Well, a lot of, over the years, I've been around a long time, a lot of people came up, well, I know how to fix that. And they fixed it, and if it still would not hold, it would blow the sewer completely out of the ground.
They ought to treat it like a sore toe.
Well, then I kind of back up what I said, Doug. Why don't you check with Royal and everybody, see if we can't do what you guys are suggesting.
What issue we had,
Well, I'm gonna check with
the
the.
volume of water, Mark is right, there used to be, from what I'm told, a dry pond that retained it and let it slowly drain off, kind of held some of that, all the hillside from the south. But if you remember that day, I don't know if any of you were in town and happened to drive down past the locker or anywhere out towards the high school.
The day we got the big rain?
Yes.
Yeah, I was out driving around.
That water, there was nowhere for it to go.
I know.
You know, it's still coming in, coming down behind their houses, and there's nowhere this side of town for it to go. I mean,
The
they,
and the
all of
county,
it's full out there.
the county
We need to
is
hold it up
looking at
coming
that.
in. Yeah.
that was one of the things Goss told me. It was one of the reasons why he was so anxious to come to my house, was because they're currently doing a study to find out what the effects of 69 is having on our watershed. They are currently looking at that.
Did the county put this small culvert in there?
Which, the one on the back of my property?
One that's back?
No, previous
No,
landowner.
I did.
And so it's your fault. All this is your fault.
But I came to the board and asked what size I needed to put in, and got permission to do it before I done it. And the reason they put that size in was because it was the same size that the county and the same size that the Doc Rohr had in there. And they said, that's fine. And we had as much problem before with water, the daycare did, as the culvert never was, the culvert was never full when I was there, never.
The first time.
And to be honest, Dave, I'm not saying the culvert is the problem. Dave, I'm not saying the culvert is the problem. I'm just relaying what Goss had said.
Yeah,
He said it just builds up right there and it causes a reverse hydro.
Yeah, and it makes that sharp bend there, and,
Yeah.
yeah, it's an issue.
Okay, action items. John, you're gonna call the ditch people.
Yeah, I'll call, I think it's Prairie Creek, but I'll find out.
I'm gonna call
Call
FEMA.
about what? Call about, call about,
The Prairie Creek ditch board.
okay?
Mr. Woodruff is on that ditch board, John.
Oh,
Woodruff that farms out here, Woody's grandpa, I can't think.
yeah.
No, I can't think.
Richard.
of his name.
Richard.
Ben or Richard? Richard? Or Benny?
Richard, I believe.
It is.
And then you
I'm
want,
gonna call FEMA.
okay.
Doug, you're going to check in and seeing if, first of all, as far as maintaining the ditch, you got two action items. One is as far as getting prisoners, make sure it's weed eated and kept free of debris. And the second thing is we need to check in to see if we can remove those culverts. If that would help him out of the issue.
I don't know if we can get, if there's a representative of the Army Corps of Engineers that would come out. I don't know any of that, I didn't dig that deep. But they do have people out there that will give you,
The ditch board should know that.
I agree.
I'm gonna do that.
Sir?